The Young and the Restless spoilers Sharon's triumph, a tale of survival, courage, and redemption. It was a moment that no one in Genoa City could have anticipated, a moment that would change lives forever. Against all odds, Sharon Newman emerged from the darkness, bruised and battered but alive, her determination and unyielding courage shining brighter than ever. The nightmare she endured for the past 10 days had pushed her to the brink of despair, but it also ignited a fire within her, a fire that refused to be extinguished. A journey through the shadows for Sharon, the past 10 days had been a battle unlike any she had faced before. Trapped in a hidden underground bunker, a relic from the twisted mind of Cameron Kirsten, she was forced to summon every ounce of her strength and resourcefulness. This wasn't the first time Sharon had encountered this dark place years ago. It had been the site where her daughter Faith was held captive. The memory of those harrowing days guided her now, as she navigated the labyrinthine corridors, searching for an escape route. Every step was a test of her resilience. Dehydration, hunger, and the suffocating weight of isolation pressed down on her, but Sharon refused to give in. Her will to survive, to return to her family, and to reclaim her life kept her going. She scoured every inch of the bunker for tools, for anything that could help her break free. Through sheer determination, she finally found her way out, a small, rusted door that led to freedom and the light of day. The fall of Jordan. While Sharon fought for her life, her captor, Jordan, believed she had the upper hand. A master manipulator and cunning adversary, Jordan had orchestrated this scheme with the precision of a chess master. But even the most calculated plans are not immune to error, and Jordan's overconfidence proved to be her downfall. Her obsession with control blinded her to Sharon's resilience, and the moment Sharon escaped, Jordan's web of deceit began to unravel. In Genoa City, the walls were closing in on her. Evidence mounted against her, and allies turned away. Her desperate attempts to salvage her plans were futile, and soon, it became clear that her reign of terror was over. Stripped of power, influence, and options, Jordan was left with no choice but to flee, a shadow of the formidable figure she once was. The emotional reunion. When Sharon finally emerged from the darkness, her appearance was both a shock and a miracle. Mariah, her daughter, was the first to see her. Overwhelmed by the sight of her mother, alive, breathing, and standing before her, Mariah collapsed in tears. Her sobs echoed through the air, a mixture of relief, disbelief, and uncontainable joy. Nick, Sharon's steadfast partner, and Faith, her youngest daughter, rushed to her side, their faces etched with a combination of grief and gratitude. Sharon's return was nothing short of a miracle, but questions lingered in the air like an unspoken storm. What had she endured during those 10 days? How had she survived when the odds were so firmly stacked against her? But this was not the time for answers. Sharon was weak, her body battered and in desperate need of medical attention. The reunion, as joyous as it was, had to wait. Sharon's health was the immediate priority. A race against time. Nick didn't waste a moment. With Sharon cradled in his arms, he carried her to the car while Mariah and Faith followed closely behind. Every second felt like an eternity as they raced to Genoa City Memorial Hospital. The entire family was united in their determination to see Sharon safe and well, but their minds were plagued with worry. Would she recover fully? What scars, physical or emotional, would she carry from this ordeal? At the hospital, a team of doctors and nurses sprang into action, their movements swift and efficient. Sharon was placed on a stretcher and wheeled into the emergency room. For Nick, Mariah, and Faith, the wait was excruciating. They clung to each other, their hearts heavy with fear but buoyed by the knowledge that Sharon was a fighter. The strength of a survivor. As the hours passed, the gravity of Sharon's ordeal began to sink in. She had faced death and emerged victorious. Her bravery and determination had not only saved her own life but also brought a glimmer of hope to her family and the entire community of Genoa City. Sharon was more than a survivor, she was a beacon of strength, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can prevail. But Sharon's journey was far from over. The physical wounds would heal, but the emotional scars would take time. The trauma of her captivity, the memories of those 10 harrowing days, and the weight of everything she had fought for would linger. Yet, if there was one thing everyone in Genoa City knew about Sharon Newman, it was that she was a fighter. She had faced adversity before and come out stronger, and there was no doubt she would do so again. What lies ahead as Sharon lay in her hospital bed, surrounded by the love and support of her family, the question on everyone's mind was, what's next? The battle with Jordan was over, but the road to recovery was just beginning. There would be time to tell her story, to share the details of her escape and the courage that had carried her through. For now, though, Sharon needed rest and healing. The future held many uncertainties, but one thing was clear: Sharon Newman was back, and she was ready to reclaim her place in Genoa City. Her survival was a testament to the power of hope, resilience, and the unbreakable bond of family. And as the sun set on that fateful day, it brought with it the promise of a new beginning, not just for Sharon but for everyone whose lives she had touched. Sharon's revelation. The darkness beneath and a flicker of hope after hours of rest and medical care, Sharon Newman finally opened her eyes. The room was quiet, save for the soft hum of machines monitoring her recovery. Around her, Nick, Mariah, and Faith waited anxiously, their hearts heavy with the unanswered questions surrounding her survival. But Sharon had no time for reassurances or pleasantries. Her mind was consumed by the memories of the dark, suffocating bunker and the horrifying secrets it held. Gathering her strength, Sharon began to speak. Her voice was hoarse but determined, every word weighted with urgency and dread. A tale of shadows and secrets. The bunker, Sharon began, her eyes darting toward Nick. It wasn't just a prison. It was something far more sinister. She hesitated, her voice faltering as the memories surged back. I saw things down there, Nick. I don't know if they were real, but they felt real. Cameron was there. The mere mention of Cameron Kirsten sent chills through the room. The man had haunted Sharon's life for years, his manipulative and violent nature leaving scars that would never fully heal. Nick stiffened, his protective instincts kicking in, but he let Sharon continue. I don't know if it was his ghost or some hallucination, Sharon admitted, her voice trembling. But I spoke to him. He taunted me, like he always did. He said things about the past, about Faith, about all of us. But it wasn't just him. I saw Heather. Nick's expression darkened. Heather, he asked, his voice low. Heather's gone, Sharon. She's been gone for years. Sharon shook her head, tears welling in her eyes. I know what I saw, Nick. She was there. She spoke to me, and it felt so real. She gave me hope. She made me believe I could get out of that place. But now, I don't know what to believe. The mystery of Heather Stevens had been a bright light in Sharon's life, someone who had brought comfort and warmth during her darkest moments. But Heather's disappearance had left a void, one that no one had been able to fill. The idea that Heather might still be alive sent shockwaves through the room, but it also raised a haunting question. If Heather was alive, why hadn't she saved Sharon? Why had she left her to suffer alone in that bunker? Sharon's voice broke as she continued. I can't explain it, but I feel like Heather's still out there. I felt her presence, Nick. It was so real. But if she's alive, why didn't she help me? Why didn't she come back? The room fell silent, the weight of Sharon's words settling over them like a heavy fog. Mariah reached out to hold her mother's hand, her own tears threatening to spill. Mom, she whispered, are you sure? Could it have been a trick, something Jordan set up to mess with you? I don't know, Sharon admitted. But I can't shake this feeling, Mariah. I need to know the truth. I need to know if Heather is alive. And if she is, I need to find her. A call to action. Sharon's determination reignited the urgency in the room. Turning to Nick, she grabbed his hand, her grip surprisingly strong. Nick, I need you to take me back to the bunker. No, Nick said firmly. Absolutely not. You've been through enough, Sharon. You need to rest and heal. That place almost killed you. Nick, Sharon pleaded, her eyes locking with his, there's something down there. Something we missed. I'm not crazy, I know what I saw. If Heather is alive, she might still be in that bunker. Please, we have to go back and look for her. Nick hesitated, torn between his protective instincts and the desperation in Sharon's eyes. He glanced at Mariah, who nodded silently, her expression mirroring Sharon's resolve. Fine, Nick relented, his voice heavy with reluctance. But you're staying here. You've been through too much already. I'll go with the police and a team to search the bunker. Sharon shook her head. You won't know what to look for. That place is a maze, Nick. It's like it was designed to make you lose your way. I know it better than anyone. I have to go. You're not going back down there, Sharon, Nick said firmly. Not after everything you've been through. But Sharon's mind was made up. Her experience in the bunker had left her scarred, but it had also given her a clarity she couldn't ignore. Heather was the key to everything, her survival, the truth about Cameron, and perhaps even the future she longed to rebuild. She wouldn't rest until she had answers. The road to redemption, the decision was made. Nick, Sharon, and a small team of trusted allies prepared to return to the bunker, each step bringing them closer to the unknown. Sharon's heart pounded with a mix of fear and hope. If Heather was truly alive, she needed to find her. But the thought of returning to that dark, suffocating place filled her with dread. As they reached the entrance to the bunker, Sharon paused, her hand resting on the cold, rusted door. Whatever's down there, she said quietly, we face it together. Nick nodded, his hand on her shoulder. Together. The door creaked open, revealing the darkness within. Armed with flashlights and a renewed sense of purpose, the group descended into the depths, ready to uncover the secrets that lay hidden in the shadows. For Sharon, this wasn't just a search for Heather, it was a search for closure, for understanding, and for the chance to finally put the past to rest. But as the darkness enveloped them, one thing became clear: the bunker held more than just memories. It held the answers to questions no one had dared to ask, and the truths they uncovered would change everything. This continuation builds suspense and sets up a deeper mystery while keeping the emotional stakes high. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments or further expansion. Smiling face with smiling eyes.